think we should stop pretending, Sophie said, her fingers pulling away from mine. I stared at her across the table. Pretending what? That this is going anywhere, she replied, calm, like she had practiced it. You're not father material. I can't waste more years hoping you'll turn into someone who is. The restaurant went quiet in my head. I could hear silverware clinking, someone laughing at another table. But all I saw was her eyes, cold and certain. You really think that? My voice was low, dangerous even to my own ears. She nodded once. I need a man who's ready for a future, not just a man who can make me laugh over dinner. I felt every muscle in my chest lock. You knew I wanted kids. You knew I wanted a family. You want the fantasy? She said, picking up her wine. But you wouldn't know how to be a father if you tried. You're too reckless. My chair scraped loudly as I stood. I don't need to sit here and let you dissect my worth. It's walking away again, she said under her breath. Not even looking up. I threw cash on the table and left before she could see the heat in my eyes. Outside, the night air slapped my face, but it didn't cool me down. I drove with my hands clenched so hard around the wheel they hurt. Streetlights blurred past as I tried to outrun the sound of her voice. 2 hours later, I ended up in front of a bar I had never seen before. The sign was flickering, the parking lot half empty. I walked in because I didn't know what else to do. Music played low from a jukebox. A few strangers sat at the counter. I ordered a drink, hoping it would quiet the storm in my chest. You look like someone who hates the world tonight, a voice said beside me. I turned. She was sitting 2 stools over, her dark hair falling over one shoulder, a drink in her hand. She was smiling, but not kindly, like she found me interesting. Bad day, I said, taking a sip. Bad day or bad woman? She asked, tilting her head. I hesitated. Both. She laughed softly. And it was the kind of laugh that made you lean in without meaning to. What did she do? I met her gaze. Told me I'd never make a good father. Said she couldn't see a future with me? Harsh, she said, swirling the ice in her glass. Was she right? I frowned. No, I think I'd be a great father. I think she just doesn't see me anymore. She's blind then, she said, standing and moving to the stool right next to me. She sat close enough that I could smell her perfume. Something sharp and warm at the same time. Why are you sitting here talking to a stranger? I asked. Because you look like a man who needs someone to talk to, she said, resting her chin on her hand. And because I like interesting men. I raised a brow. You don't even know me. I know enough, she said with a small smirk. You're hurt. You're angry. And you came here instead of going home, which means you're not ready to be alone with your thoughts yet. She wasn't wrong. What's your name? I asked. Margot. She held out her hand. I shook it. Don't tell me, she interrupted. I like guessing. You look like a guy who works too much but secretly hates his job. I chuckled in spite of myself. Close, I work in marketing. Marketing guy, she said, pretending to think. You sell people dreams they don't need. No wonder you hate being told you're not good enough. Your whole job is convincing people they are. Her words stung. But they also felt true. You're good at reading people, I said. I'm good at seeing what's real, she replied. Tapping the rim of her glass, we sat there for a long time, trading stories. She told me about traveling alone, about leaving a relationship because it was suffocating her. I told her nothing about Sophie, that I didn't have to. But somehow she understood everything anyway. You don't have to stay stuck where she left you, Margot said, her voice softer now. What if she's right? I asked quietly. What if I'm not enough for the future I want? Margot leaned closer, her eyes locking on mine. Then you build a different future. One that doesn't include people who can't see you for who you are. The bar was almost empty now. The bartender was stacking chairs. Margot didn't move away. You're staring at me, I said. I know, she replied, a slow smile curving her lips. Why? Because you look like a man who needs to forget everything tonight, she whispered. Her words hit me harder than any drink could. I didn't know if she was trouble, but I knew I wanted to find out. Margot didn't move back when she said it. You look like a man who needs to forget everything tonight, she whispered again. Forget? I asked. Or just get lost in something worse? That depends on how badly you need it, she said, her eyes glittering under the dim bar lights. I leaned back on the stool, my chest tight. You don't even know me. Then let me, she replied, sliding her drink toward me. Ask me anything. I'll ask you back. We'll see who flinches first. I smirked despite myself. All right. Why are you here alone? Because I like choosing who I talk to, she said icily. Your turn. Why did you really come in here tonight? I hesitated. Because I didn't want to be home thinking about her. Her, Margot repeated, tilting her head. So she still has that much power over you? She took it the second she said I wasn't good enough. Margot's smile faded for a moment. Then you don't need her approval. You need to get angry enough to prove her wrong. I looked at her, surprised. That's blunt. I don't do polite sympathy, she said. Sympathy keeps you stuck. I like seeing people move. I finished my drink, the warmth running through me. Your turn. When was the last time you were stuck? Her lips curved slowly. The day I realized the person I loved wanted to change me. I left, packed a bag, and never went back. I nodded. That's why you sound so sure about walking away from people, she grinned. See? You are paying attention. Before I could reply, she stood and held out her hand. Dance with me. I blinked. There's no dance floor. Exactly. That's what makes it good, she said, tugging me up. Music from the jukebox shifted to something slow and smoky. A couple of the remaining bar patrons glanced at us, amused, but I didn't care. Margot stepped close, placing my hands on her waist. You really do this with strangers? I asked. My voice rougher than I intended. Only with strangers who look like they need it more than breathing, she said. Guiding me to move with her, her hair brushed my jaw. My pulse kicked. You like control? I said quietly. She smiled against my shoulder. And you like pretending you don't. I tightened my hold on her hips. What do you think you're doing? Making you stop thinking about her for 5 minutes, she said. Meeting my eyes again, the song ended, but she didn't step away. Her hand stayed on my chest, warm. Firm. You're dangerous, I said. And you like it, she answered. The bartender cleared his throat behind us. Closing in 10. Margot grabbed a marker from the counter and took my wrist. What are you doing? I asked. Making sure you don't forget me the second you leave, she said. Writing a number across my skin in bold black ink, I stared at it, feeling my throat go dry. Call me, she said, capping the marker. Or don't, but you'll regret it if you don't. I swallowed hard. You always this sure of yourself? Only when I know I'm right, she said. Picking up her bag, she walked toward the door, throwing one last look over her shoulder. Good night, marketing guy. I stood there, my wrist burning, where she'd written her number. For the first time all night, wasn't thinking about Sophie. Asterisk, I stared at the number on my wrist until the ink started to fade. I told myself I wouldn't call her. I lasted 2 days. When she answered, her voice was light. You finally caved? You sound too pleased with yourself, I said. I am. I thought I'd have to wait a week before you admitted you wanted to hear my voice. Maybe I just needed directions to give your number back, I said, smiling despite myself. You're terrible at lying, she replied. Where are you right now? Parked outside a cafe? Perfect. I'm 3 blocks away. Sit tight. I'll come to you. Before I could protest, she hung up. She walked in 15 minutes later, hair tied back, sunglasses perched on top of her head. She slid into the seat across from me without asking. Coffee for me, she told the barista, then looked at me. You look better than the other night. I feel better, I admitted. Good. Now tell me what made you finally call. I ran my thumb along the edge of my cup. I couldn't stop hearing what you said about building a different future. It made me angry. And then it made sense. Her expression softened. Angry is good. Angry means you're ready to move. Or ready to do something stupid, I said. Margot leaned in. The stupidest thing would have been never calling me. I laughed quietly. Your trouble, correct? But the fun kind. We talked until our coffees went cold. She asked about my job, my childhood. The last time I laughed so hard my ribs hurt. I asked about her travels, her favorite city, why she always seemed so calm. She shrugged. I stopped letting people tell me who I'm supposed to be. Life got quieter after that. I found myself smiling again, which scared me. You make it sound so simple. It is, she said, finishing her coffee. The hard part is deciding you're worth the peace. I didn't have an answer to that. Margot glanced at her phone, then at me. You should meet my friends tonight. They'll want to see if you're real. Your friends? Yes, they think I invent men. I like to keep things interesting. And you like me? I asked, raising a brow. If I didn't, I wouldn't be inviting you, she said, standing. I hesitated. What if they hate me? They won't. And if they do, that's their problem. That night, I showed up at a small apartment filled with music and warm light. Margot opened the door, barefoot, holding a glass of wine. You came, she said, smiling like she already knew I would. You didn't leave much of a choice, I said. Stepping inside, 2 people were sitting on the couch. A tall guy with dark curls stood first. You must be the mystery man, Julian. This is him, Margot said. Julian shook my hand, his grip firm. She actually brought someone home. Impressive. Try not to scare him, Margot warned. Handing me a drink, a girl with a sharp bob and bright eyes waved from the arm of the couch. Eva. I'm the one who usually keeps her from making bad decisions. But you look better than most of her bad decisions? Margot smirked. See, you're already winning. I glanced at Margot. You really told them about me? Oh yes, Eva said, before Margot could answer. We've been waiting to meet you. Julian raised his glass. So this is the guy you were talking about? Margot didn't deny it. She just smirked, her eyes on me. The apartment was alive the moment I stepped in. Music played from a speaker, soft enough to talk over, but loud enough to make my chest feel it. Eva handed me a drink before I could say anything. You survived, she said. Good start. Julian leaned against the counter, smirking. Let's see if you survive Margot's taste in music next. Margot rolled her eyes. Ignore him. He thinks he's in charge here. I looked at her. You're the one who invited me. Feels like you're the one in charge. Her lips curved. Exactly. Come on, she led me to the kitchen, where someone had laid out wine bottles and plates of food. Eat, she said, pushing a plate toward me. I shook my head. I'm not hungry. You need to be, she said. You still look like a man who's been living on coffee and spite. Eva raised a brow. He looks better than he did yesterday. You should have seen him then. He was practically brooding into his cup. I smiled at her. I'm right here, Margot grinned. He's getting his sense of humor back. Progress. For hours we talked, drank, argued about movies, and laughed at Julian's terrible impressions. Margot stayed near me the entire time, brushing my arm when she reached for her glass, leaning in when she wanted me to hear her over the music. You're quiet, she said at one point. I'm trying to figure out if this is real, I admitted. She tilted her head. What part? You, I said simply. She held my gaze. It's real. Later, when the others started cleaning up, Margot nodded toward the balcony. Come outside with me. The night air was cool. The city stretched out below, lights blinking like they were trying to compete with the stars. You look like you needed this, she said, leaning against the railing. Needed what? This, she said, gesturing toward the apartment. Noise. People. Not being alone with your thoughts. You might be right, I said. She turned to face me. You still think about her? Yes, I said honestly. Good, she replied. Good. It means you care enough to get hurt. People who stop caring scare me. I stepped closer. You're not scared of me? No, she said quietly. But I could be if you made me. Her words hit me somewhere deep. I don't think I want to hurt you, I said. Then don't, she whispered. Silence hung between us. She was close enough now that I could smell her perfume, something sweet with an edge. You said you don't believe in second chances? I said. I don't, she replied. Then what is this? She reached up, resting a hand on my chest. Maybe it's a first chance that looks like a second. Before I could speak, she kissed me. Slow at first, then deeper, like she was daring me to stop her. I didn't. When she finally pulled back, her breath was unsteady. That was reckless, I said. I warned you I like trouble, she replied, her lips curving. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out. The name on the screen made my stomach twist. Sophie? Asterisk, the screen kept glowing with Sophie's name. Margot glanced at me. You going to answer that? My thumb hovered over the screen. I don't know if I should. You want to? She said. I turned away from her stare and swiped to accept. Hello. Her voice came through calm and sharp. So it's true. My chest tightened. What's true? You and Margot, Sophie said. I saw the pictures. I gripped the railing. You've been checking up on me? I had to, she said. I can't just watch you ruin yourself. She's bad news. You don't even know her. I know enough, she snapped. She goes through men like drinks. She doesn't want what you want. I took a breath. What do you think I want? A family. A future. You wanted that with me? That was before you left, I said. She went quiet. So you're really doing this? Yes, I said. Then I hope you're ready when she drops you, Sophie said, and the line went dead. Margot was still watching me. Well, she said you're bad news, I admitted. Margot smiled, slow and wicked. Then let her watch. Her words hit me harder than I expected. We went back inside. The others had left, and the apartment felt too quiet. Margot grabbed 2 glasses and poured wine. You okay? She asked. I don't know what I am, I said. You're angry, she said. But not at me. Maybe I am at you, I said, taking the glass. Why? Because this feels too easy, I said. Like I'm supposed to still be broken, but somehow you're putting me back together, and I don't know if that's good. Margot sipped her wine. I'm not fixing you. You're just remembering you're alive. I sat on the couch, and she sat next to me, close enough that her knee brushed mine. Do you like that? She asked. Yes, I said. Good, because I'm not going to apologize for it. We sat there in silence for a moment, and then she said, You want to know something about me? Yes. I never wanted children, she said, her tone casual, but her eyes serious. I stared at her. Never? No, she said. Kids tie you down. They need you every second. I like my life the way it is. Something inside me cracked at those words. I always thought I'd have kids, I said quietly. Then why didn't you with her? Because she said we had time, I said. Turns out she meant she wanted time with someone else. Margot set her glass down. I don't hate kids, she said softly. I just never saw myself as a mother. But maybe. I looked at her. Maybe what? Maybe I could want them with the right person, she whispered. Asterisk Margot sat on the edge of my bathtub, legs crossed, arms tight against her chest. The small white stick sat between us on the counter, like it might explode. You're quiet, I said. You're not, she replied. I'm trying not to freak out. Her lip twitched. You're doing a bad job. Sorry, I said. I just didn't think this would happen. You think I did? She shot back. I leaned against the doorframe. No, but I thought you said you didn't want kids. I did say that. And now. She looked at the test. Now, we wait 2 more minutes. I sat on the floor, knees pulled to my chest. I can hear my heart pounding. Good, she said. Means you care. I looked up at her. Of course I care. Her shoulders softened a little. You'd be a good dad. I blinked. You think so? She nodded. You're too stubborn not to be. We both turned when the timer buzzed. Margot reached for the test, but I grabbed her wrist. You read it? She said, double quotes. No, you. She picked it up, eyes scanning the result. Then she looked at me. Well? I asked. It's positive, she said. For a second, I couldn't move. Then I laughed. Okay, all right, you're laughing. She asked, stunned. Double quotes? Yeah, I said. Because for some reason this feels right.
Okay.
Margot stared at me. Are you serious? Yes. You want this? I stood and held her face. I want this. Her breath caught. I thought you'd panic. I did. For about 5 seconds. But then I thought about you. About us? You think we're an us? She asked softly. I know we are, I said. Her hands curled into my shirt. Say that again, we're an us. Margot kissed me hard, like she needed to believe me. When she pulled back, she was smiling. You really might be crazy, she said. Probably, I said. The rest of the day passed in a haze. We ordered takeout, sat on the couch, barely touched our food. You keep looking at me, she said. I'm trying to picture you with a bump, I admitted. Don't, she said with a laugh. We don't even know what will happen. We'll figure it out. Her laugh softened. You actually sound happy. I am, I said. Then I guess I am too. Stayed up late talking about everything and nothing. She asked if I'd tell my family. I said not yet. She asked if I'd tell Sophie. I said never. But when I got back to my apartment that night, someone was already waiting at my door. Sophie. She stepped out of the shadows. We need to talk. I don't think we do. You're making a mistake, she said, voice low. Go home. Can't, she said, moving closer. I miss you. Swallowed hard. You don't get to say that now. I still love you, she said. I gripped the doorknob to keep from shaking. Sophie's voice cracked as she stood in my doorway. I was wrong about you, she said. You'd be an incredible father. I should never have said that to you. You can't show up like this, I said. I had to. She wiped her eyes. I can't stop thinking about you. You ended this, I said. I know. And it was a mistake. Please, just talk to me. Before I could answer, a soft voice came from behind me. Who is this? Margot stood barefoot in my hallway, one of my shirts hanging loose on her frame. Sophie's eyes widened. You're joking. I stepped aside so I was between them. You should go, Sophie. She's living here? Sophie asked. She's with me, I said. You can't be serious, Sophie said. Her voice sharper now. I am. You're throwing everything away for someone you barely know. Margot crossed her arms. He knows enough. This isn't your business, Sophie snapped. Margot didn't move. It is now. Held up a hand. Stop, both of you. Sophie, I don't want this. Not anymore. You're making a mistake, Sophie said. Tears still shining. I'm choosing what's right for me, I said. You'll regret this, she said quietly. Leave, I said. She stared at me one last time, then turned and walked away. I shut the door and leaned against it. My chest felt tight. You okay? Margot asked. I don't know, I admitted. She's not over you, Margot said. She doesn't get to be over me now, I said. Margot sat on the couch and stayed quiet. I joined her. You're mad, I said. I'm not mad. Yes, you are. Her jaw clenched. I'm scared. Of what? Of losing you, she said. I reached for her hand. You're not going to lose me. She looked at you like you were still hers. Margot said. I'm not hers, I said. She thinks you are. Margot replied. I told her to leave, I said. You told her to leave tonight, she said. What about tomorrow? There is no tomorrow with her, I said firmly. Margot finally looked at me. Do you mean that? Yes. Her voice softened. Then prove it. I kissed her, trying to erase the look on Sophie's face from my mind. She kissed me back, her hands clutching my shirt like she was holding on for dear life. When we pulled apart, she pressed her forehead to mine. I hate feeling like this, she said. Like what? Like I'm waiting for someone to take you away. No one's taking me away. You don't know that, she whispered. I know what I want, I said. Her eyes glistened. Then fight for it. Fight for us. I am. We stayed there until our breathing slowed. Stay with me tonight, she said. I wasn't planning on leaving. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Sophie's face at my door at sunrise. Margot got up and started packing a bag. What are you doing? I asked. She didn't look at me. Giving you space to figure out who you really want. You can't just walk away. I'm not walking away, she said. I'm telling you, I won't wait forever. She zipped her bag and slung it over her shoulder. If you want me, you know where to find me, she said. And then she was gone. Asterisk, I caught her before she reached the elevator. Margot. Stop. She froze but didn't turn around. Please don't leave, I said. She turned slowly. Arms crossed, bag still over her shoulder. Why should I stay? Because I'm done with Sophie, I said. Her brow lifted. You said that last night. I'll prove it. I pulled out my phone, found Sophie's contact and hit block. Then I typed a single message. What are you doing? Margot asked. Finishing this, I said, and hit send. She stepped closer, grabbed the phone and read the message aloud. Don't contact me again. I nodded. She's out of my life. For good. Margot exhaled and set my phone down. Words are easy. I know, I said, which is why I'm not just saying it. I'll show you. She studied me for a long moment, then dropped the bag on the floor. You're lucky I believe in second chances. She said, you told me you didn't, I said. Her lips curved slightly. Maybe I was wrong. I stepped closer. Stay. She searched my face. Then prove you mean it. The next morning, I started looking for bigger apartments. You're really doing this? Margot asked when she saw the listings on my laptop. Yes, I said. We need space. For us. For what's coming. Her hand lingered on my shoulder. You're scaring me. Why? Because you're making this real. It is real, I said. She nodded and sat beside me. Then let's go see one. That weekend we toured a 2-bedroom place with light streaming through every window. I like it, Margot said softly. You'd be happy here? I asked. She nodded once. Then we'll take it. I said, you don't have to rush, she said. I want to, I replied. A week later, we sat in the waiting room of the clinic. You're shaking, Margot said. I'm fine, I lied. You're terrified, she said. Yeah, I admitted. But I'm here, she smiled faintly. That's what matters. When the nurse called her name, I followed. You sure you want to be in here? Margot asked. Yes. She reached for my hand during the exam. Don't look at me like that. Like what? Like you're falling in love with me, she said. Too late, I said. Her eyes softened. You mean that? I do, the doctor pointed at the screen. There's the heartbeat. I gripped Margot's hand tighter. That's ours, I said. Her eyes glistened. Yes, it is. Afterward, we sat in the car in silence. You didn't have to come, Margot said finally. I wanted to, I said. She turned to me. I believe you now. Good. But belief isn't trust, she said. I'll earn it. Later that night, we met her friends at a bar. Julian pulled me aside near the back. You know she doesn't trust you yet, right? He said quietly. I stared at him. She told you that? She didn't have to, he said. I know her. Then what do I do? I asked. Show her you're not going anywhere, he said. Even when it's hard. I looked back at Margot laughing with Eva, one hand on her stomach. I will, I said. You better, Julian said. She's not the kind of woman who gives third chances. Asterisk, she wouldn't stop crying. Margot, look at me, I said quietly. She shook her head. I can't do this. Yes, you can, I said. Her shoulders trembled. You don't get it. I don't know how to trust anyone. Every time I try, it feels like I'm walking into fire. I reached for her hand. Then let me burn with you. She jerked back. Why are you like this? Why do you keep showing up? Because I love you, I said. Her eyes flashed. Love isn't enough. Then tell me what is, I said. Peace, she said. Safety. I want to stop running, but I don't know how. Then run at me, I said. She stared at me like I was insane. You don't know what you're asking. I know exactly what I'm asking. Stay. Tears slid down her face. And if I hurt you again? You won't, I said. She shook her head. You believe in me more than I believe in myself. And borrow my belief, I said. She wiped her face and whispered, I'm so tired. Then sleep, I said softly. I'll still be here in the morning. She didn't answer. She just turned away and crawled into bed. I sat on the edge of the mattress, waiting for her breathing to steady. I love you, Margot, I said into the dark. When morning came, the bed was empty. Her phone was gone. Her bag too. My chest turned to ice. I tore through the apartment calling her name. Opening closets like she might be hiding, nothing. I grabbed my keys and drove. I went to her favorite coffee shop. Have you seen Margot today? I asked the barista. She shook her head. I went to the park she loved. No one. I called Julian. She's not with me. He said. What happened? She left, I said. He cursed under his breath. She does that when she's scared. Can't just wait, I said. Then find her, he said. Before she convinces herself you're the enemy. I drove to every place she might hide. By afternoon, I was out of options then. I saw it, her car, parked in front of Sophie's. Building, my hands tightened on the steering wheel, I got out and rang the buzzer. The door clicked. Open. I climbed the stairs 2 at a time. When I reached the top floor, Sophie's door swung open. She leaned against the frame, smiling like she had been waiting. Well, she said, her eyes flicking over me. Look who finally showed up. Sophie's smirk deepened when she saw my expression. You look surprised, she said, crossing her arms. Where is she? I asked. Her smile grew. Inside. She came here this morning. She said she needed someone who understood her better than you do. I pushed past her. Margot. Margot was sitting on Sophie's couch, knees pulled to her chest. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. You came here? I asked softly. She nodded. I didn't know where else to go. Sophie closed the door behind me. See, she needed comfort. Something you obviously can't give? I turned to Sophie. Leave us alone, she laughed. This is my apartment. Then stay quiet, I said. Margot's voice cracked. I'm sorry. I panicked. You should have called me, said. I thought you'd hate me, she said. I could never hate you, I said. Sophie scoffed. You should. She walked out on you without a word. She's doing you a favor by showing you what she's really like. I ignored her. Margot, come home with me. She hugged her knees tighter. I can't. Why not? I asked. Her chin trembled. Because I don't know if I can be what you need. I am scared of ruining you. You already saved me, I said. Her head snapped up. What? I was lost before you. I was living half a life. You made me feel again, I said. Sophie rolled her eyes. You're really going to throw your life away for this girl? I turned to her. This girl is the woman I love. You had your chance and you broke me. You don't get to speak about her. Her smirk faded. So that's it? You're choosing her over me? There was never a choice, I said. Margot's lip quivered. You mean that? I knelt in front of her. Yes. You think you'll ruin me, but you're the reason I'm still standing. Tears streamed down her face. I don't deserve this. You deserve everything, I said. Sophie grabbed my arm. You're going to regret this. I shook her off. No, I regret ever letting you have power over me. Double quotes. Margot reached for me then, clutching my shirt like she was afraid I'd vanish. Take me home, she whispered. I helped her. Stand. Sophie stepped in front of the door. You really think you can just walk out with her? Yes, I said. Margot's voice broke. Move, Sophie. Sophie stared at her, then stepped aside with a bitter laugh. Fine. Run back to him. Just don't cry to me when he breaks you too. Margot flinched, but I wrapped an arm around her and led her out. The hall was quiet, just our footsteps echoing. I'm so sorry, she said. Don't apologize, I said. She wiped her face. I almost let her convince me I was poison. You're not poison, I said. We reached the car. She hesitated before getting in. Margot, I said gently. She looked at me, eyes wet but steady. Then let's do this, she whispered. Together, the hospital room was quiet except for the steady beeping of monitors. I stood frozen, staring at the tiny bundle the nurse had just placed in my arms. Margot's voice was weak, but full of pride. "You're holding him like you were born for this." My throat tightened. "He's so small. He's perfect," she said, her head sinking back against the pillow. I sat on the edge of the bed, afraid to breathe too hard. "Hi, little man," I whispered. Margot smiled. "You're crying?" "I'm not," I said, wiping my cheek. "Yes, you are," she teased softly. "I can't believe he's here," I said. She reached for my free hand. "Neither can I." I glanced at her, her hair damp with sweat, her eyes tired but shining. "You did this?" "You made him. We made him," she corrected. The baby let out a tiny sound and I nearly jumped. Margot laughed weakly. "Relax, he's just saying hi." I looked at him again. "Hi, I'm your dad." Her smile widened. "That sounded good, didn't it?" "Better than anything I've ever said," I admitted. A knock came at the door. Julian peeked in. "You two decent?" Margot nodded. "Come in." He stepped inside, grinning. "Look at you. You actually look like a dad," I laughed. "Guess I am one." Julian leaned over the bed. "Congratulations, both of you." Margot's eyes softened. "Thanks for being here. I wouldn't miss it," he said. Then he looked at me. "How does it feel?" "Terrifying. Amazing. Everything," I said. Julian clapped my shoulder. "Good. That means you'll do it right." My phone buzzed on the bedside table. Margot frowned. "Who is it?" I glanced at the screen. Sophie. Julian raised a brow. "You gonna answer?" "No," I said, slipping the phone into my pocket. Margot studied my face. "You're sure?" "I'm sure," I said. "She doesn't get this moment." Margot's grip on my hand tightened. "Thank you. You're all I want," I said. Julian chuckled. "Guess I should give you some privacy?" Margot nodded. "We'll see you later." "I'll bring food," he promised before slipping out. The room felt calm again. Margot tilted her head. "You didn't even hesitate." "There was nothing to hesitate about," I said. Her lip trembled. "I spent months thinking you'd regret this." I kissed her forehead. "You were wrong." She stared at me. "Say it again?" "I love you." "I love him." "I love this life," I said. She exhaled, tears filling her eyes. "So much for not being father material?" I smiled. "Guess we both learned something." She reached out, touching our son's cheek. "He looks like you, poor kid," I joked. "Lucky kid," she whispered. I shifted closer, laying the baby in her arms. "Here, your turn." Margot held him carefully, tears sliding down her cheeks. "He's ours," she said softly. "Forever," I said. I grabbed my phone again. "It's time for a picture." "Let's take one." "First family photo." Margot nodded. "Make sure my hair doesn't look awful." "You look beautiful," I said, snapping the picture. We looked at it together. She was glowing. The baby was sleeping. I was smiling wider than I ever had. "Post it," she said. "You sure?" I asked. "Yes," she said. "Let the world see." I uploaded it with the caption, "Welcome to the world, little man." A minute later, the screen lit up with a notification. Margot noticed. "Who's it from?" I turned the phone so she could see. Sophie liked it. Her brow furrowed. "Does that bother you?" I grinned. "No, this time, she just gets to watch." Margot leaned her head on my shoulder. "Good." I slipped my arm around her and looked at the photo again. My world had changed completely, and for the first time I didn't care what anyone thought. "This is it," I whispered. "This is everything." Margot smiled through her tears. "Then let's keep it."